Hey everybody, welcome to the StreetText Mastermind. By the way, I'm famous for my chicken tacos. Famous. I was,
Man, I could literally eat tacos all day, every day. Like if tacos had balanced macros, I literally would eat them all day, every
I
day.
would agree. And so,
Hmm.
the key on mine is if you find the perfect corn tortilla and then you saturate it on medium low heat in butter, and then you
Hmm.
melt the cheese in the butter, and then you saute your chicken, but it's got to be chicken
Hmm.
thigh meat with Cajun seasoning, and then you throw guacamole, sour cream, and hot sauce on top of that, and that's the perfect chicken taco. Just to get you guys hungry. Sorry for all you vegetarians out there. Okay, you are here for the Street Text Mastermind, not chicken tacos, but you know it's okay. We can talk about some food in the beginning. So this is kind of where we just slowly share. And so anybody who'd like to share, unmute yourself. This is the time to share wins. And it doesn't have to be, I got the listing appointment. A win could be like I learned something new with my coach and I'm implementing it and I got great feedback. It could be a new mailer. It could be, something you learned that you got excited about. So this is your time. Unmute yourself and share. Don't make me call on you. I'll start personally calling you on you. Who's first?
I'll share.
Yes, Juan. Let's go.
I've got two wins. Both are ST. What I would consider one is a ST referral turned to referral. They came in at about December when I first joined you guys, and they were not interested in at the time in listing their home, but they referred me to a family member. That family member turned out to be from Rhode Island. They ended up buying a home here in Florida back in like April or May. And I kept staying in touch with them, which was something that I never did before until I joined the ST community. So yes, I was a bad boy before then, but hey, you learn something new. And with following up, that buyer turned into a seller of another property in Florida, which I just listed. So that's win number one. And then win number two is from a ST lead that came in off of one of the your basic what's my home worth ad. And they've been going through the entire ST drip campaign, and I've had my ISA follow up with them via phone calls, but nothing really made them want to communicate until they received the last HomeBot Digest. And at that HomeBot Digest, what I was noticing was that we were getting these emails that gave us an opportunity to figure out who was looking at what. So I devised an email, text, phone call follow up with those folks. And that guy, we ended up talking this morning. We set up an appointment to potentially list on Sunday, and then they're going to basically buy another home because they're empty nesters. So follow up is definitely the name of the game. And I mean, I did not do that when I got my license. That's not something that I was privy to, I guess, knowing that I was supposed to do those kinds of things. But now I've learned my lesson. So those are my wins.
Great share, Juan.
Well, I have a few. I'm enjoying I'm finding that using the buyer lead ad, like I said before, is generating at least folks that put in their phone numbers, as well as clearly their emails as well. But I just restarted my ad not too long ago after I would start, stop, drive myself crazy with all that crap. So I just left it on, and over the past week and a half or so, I've generated a couple text and email conversations with some guys that are looking to, buy homes. One is looking in the $800,000 range. Another is looking in the like 2 to 2.5 million range. He also has a home he's looking to sell. These are all still in process. I'm just communicating with these folks, but at least they've, raised their hand. They're communicating back and forth. They're appreciative of the listings I'm sending them, because I would start them out. Well, they would start out receiving the list of homes for sale in Phoenix with pools. I would reach out, say thanks a bunch. I'm happy to customize this list for you even more, which then puts them into my multiple listing service. I do it that way, which also the benefit to that is they get coming soon listings, which are not propagated to the portals. So they kind of love being one of the first people to see listings coming online before they actually come online to the public. And another one, I was making follow-up phone calls yesterday, and the guy called me back. I left him a voicemail, and he's like, hey, I just received a call from this number. What's going on? I was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. He said, oh, yeah, I'm not looking for that house because the house I have listed is pretty expensive. But he said, I'm looking for, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, up to $325K. And I was like, great. Well, let's set up an appointment or talk, either online or virtual or what. He's like, let's just meet for coffee. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I get caught up in the whole virtual thing, but we're going to meet today at coffee at 3:00. So basically it was a scheduled appointment after a 10-minute conversation. So no closings yet, but hey, one baby step at a time.
That's all it takes, baby step by baby step.
What he
Next
said.
plane is coming.
I can share a win. I am really happy to say it's not in my StreetText yet, but I've been working on my buyer automations because buyer leads are hot leads, and I've been asked by Sarah to get more buyer leads. So I've been working on getting the automations up, and I finally got them all mapped out. I got everything prepared. So it's just getting it uploaded in StreetText. That is a huge win because that takes time mapping it out. So it's mapped out and it'll be in there by the end of the week. So
that's huge. And by the way, Lene, you have one of the most amazing seller automations that I've seen so far. I used to showcase Wendy all the time. Sorry, Wendy, passing the torch.
Sorry, Wendy.
Lene is the new one.
Wendy inspired me though, so it's okay.
You were the original inspiration. So I think you're gonna have a lot of people looking for that or wanting to know how, just some ideas behind it. So maybe we can figure out a way to make that more transparent or even potentially create some sort of Thinkific course around you, Lene. That's something to think about.
Yeah, I'm happy to share my thought process behind it. I mean, it's not easy. It's not a simple thing. You can't just like plug in an email. It's got to be very personal. So, and I think that's the reason it converts so well is because my automations are very, very customized to me. They're very authentic to who I am, and I'm speaking directly to my people. There have been quite a few people who have unsubscribed. There's been quite a few people who have said they're not interested, but those aren't my people anyway, so I don't care.
Not your tribe. Yeah, and I think one of the your wing woman in this, I think, is pretty helpful too with Sarah, right? I think the fact that you have that speed to lead component. Yeah, Sarah, it's true, because she's like Sarah's an extension of you. She gets there, boom, right as the lead comes in and gets that contact established. So I think that's key. And I know a lot of people who are looking towards Janky right now as kind of a model of an ISA VA service. I think at the end of the day, we all know that speed to lead side of this is of utmost importance while it's top of mind. So I think that's the key in all of that VA ISA talk is you get someone trained as an extension of you, making sure they're speaking the same language and communicating the way you want them to communicate. Because you don't want to just hire an ISA or a VA if they're not speaking the same.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. I mean, Sarah and I Sarah's like, she lives my mission statement. She lives and breathes my mission statement. And, there's been times when, the question comes around like, should I do this? And I'm like, well, does it meet our mission statement? Does it match our core values? And if the answer is yes, then yes, absolutely do it. If the answer is no, then don't do it. And so I think that that's what's really been helpful too. We just got, I think she just booked us, what'd you book like two appointments last week, 2 or 3 appointments last week from people that you had talked to once or twice and they didn't respond, but that 3rd or 4th time they finally responded, got them on the phone, got 2 listing appointments coming in. So I think that that's kind of like, you know, like Joe said, no closings yet, but there's definitely a lot of activity happening. And, you know, I'm not about getting closings today. I want a business, a long-term business. I don't just want closings. So.
Yeah, I think it was 3, and the fortune is in the follow-up. So that's kind of my motto.
Yeah, no, and go a little bit deeper into that too, because I think it's really important for people, especially the newbies here. How many touches do usually take you before you get any sort of reply?
Well, right off the bat, I usually call them, don't leave a voicemail, and then I send a text and say, is this their name? That's kind of how I get them interested. And then a lot of times they'll text me back. And when they're texting me back, I know that they have their phone on them. So sometimes I'll just say, hey, this is Sarah, because they usually go, who's this? And I say, calling you now. And if they don't answer, I'll leave a voicemail, and then I'll send them a text that explains what's going on. So I would say, though, it's probably 7 touches before, you know, it starts to kind of take off. I've booked appointments where people didn't show up. And then a month later, like the one Linnea's talking about, he actually called me back and wanted to know more and set an appointment.
Wow. And I think, wow, there's gold. I think a lot of people probably miss that initial gold. Okay, let's dissect that for a second. You call them, don't leave a voicemail, and then you follow up with the text and you say, is this Marcus?
Marcus, yeah.
You guys get that?
Marcus, can I add something?
Yes.
Just from a technology standpoint, I know that Apple has started doing this, and I think that Android does also. You have the ability to block unknown callers. And with Apple, the workaround for that is when you send that text, when the end of it, put a dash and your first name only in that text message. And the next time you call, it will actually ring their phone and say, maybe the name that was in the text. So if it was my name, Campbell, it'll show up on their screen and go, maybe Campbell. Otherwise, if they have that set on their Apple phone, it goes straight to voicemail. So that's a workaround for getting to them that we can all use in our automations or in what we're doing. I would never put my full name in real estate, just my name, to encourage them to pick up first name only. And what they said from the technical people is put a dash, space, then your name.
In the text?
In the text itself, Wendy, when you send it to them, you'd put your first name. You'd say, hey, is this so-and-so question mark? Then put the dash, the hyphen, and then a space, then your name, Wendy. And the next time you call on their Apple phone, their iPhone, it will say maybe Wendy as the identifier. I'm sure you've seen that if you've got an iPhone, somebody who may have texted you before that you don't have them in your contact base, but because their name is associated, now it will pop up on the screen.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was something I learned a while ago, and a lot of people still don't know it. That's money for getting around that filter.
So you, after your text, you put a space, dash, and then your name?
I'll put it in the chat stream right now and show you how I do it.
And then after they say, yes, this is Marcus, what do you say again, Sarah?
Well, when they do that, I say, hi, Marcus, my name is Sarah. Calling you now, ... And then I try to call them again because I know they have their phone. Like, they don't always answer it. So that's when I leave a voicemail. I say, hey, just saw that you requested, you know, your home evaluation and was reaching out, and it was for this address and so on and so forth. And then I text something like that as well, just so they know I have, you know, all the information. And then the sooner you can get to the lead, the better. like Marcus was saying, like, you know, is if you can follow up with that person right away, they're going to remember, oh yeah, I did click that, you know, ad last night. That was what's my home worth or something like that. So the sooner you can get to the better, but even if you can't, it's helpful to just keep consistently following up with them and hit them with texts and voicemails if you can.
I love that. And you know what? We often don't think about this, but we can take a snapshot of that image and text it and be like, hey, this is the ad you clicked on yesterday or last night. Just wanted to refresh your memory. You know, I'm here to actually serve you this home value. Just have a few quick questions.
Oh, I like that too. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, the other thing is, like, I don't know if you guys ever get people like commenting. I've had success from people just commenting on the ad, because a lot of times people just think it's a bot. And so like they'll make a comment, whether I've had a lot of negative comments on there too. And I just respond back and I'll ask, like, if they say something negative, I'll ask, like, why do you have that perception? And sometimes I won't get a response at all, because I think they're just shocked that it's an actual person responding. So I think like there's a lot to say about just following up with anything that comes through, negative or positive. And you know, people are surprised, because we're people, we're not bots. And so they have no idea how to respond to a person sometimes.
That's well said. And people, it shows you, like, you have to view your ad consistently if possible to look at the social traction. And you can go to your ads on the StreetText level, click view, and see anybody who likes the ad that shows their entire Facebook profile name. So you could actually reach out to them individually, take a snapshot of that ad and send them a Facebook message and offer them that value. Secondly, anybody who obviously posts in there, you want to respond back and have fun with it, use GIFs. Did you know even with your phone, you can send video comments, not just, right? Everything is moving in the direction of virtual. So that's the key, is you need to have that personality and that presence inside of that, or again, they're always going to assume the worst, which is, this is a bot, this is, you know, a scam, blah, 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 blah. And you get a lot of that stuff until you actually humanize it. So take note of that, because I see a lot of people who miss on that, and I think sometimes that can be the downfall of your ad's performance over time, if you just let it, set it, forget it, and you never respond to it. And eventually Facebook's like, well, people are getting negative, we're going to start showing it to less people.
Here's what everybody's still I would say forgetting, not considering. You have to remember, it's called, I say this, surfing the net for a reason. If you think you're the only person they've seen, you're wrong. This is why the multiple touches is important. I use iPhone. I've got my subject line engaged. When I respond back to the folks, I do put something in the subject line, and I do just what you were saying was, I do put the dash Leon, because I'll put just, hey, real quick, just I asked somebody yesterday, do you have a quick minute to talk this week? But I put Leon, I put slash, and I do identify my real estate company, or I'll say the info at whatever, or I'll say the Premier Houses team to identify. But I do have the dash in there. But you do have to identify something. You do have to follow up. And like I said, you can't just think you're the only person they talk to. They didn't just log on Facebook and just see you. They've seen others. So you do have to differentiate and step out there. And I do like your idea about the snapshot, Marcus, because when they see that, there's a visual reference for them.
It's so easy. And if you get into your workflow on your computer, right? Because if you create that space and time to do it from your desktop, what you do is you just quickly use the Command-Shift-4, at least on my Mac, different on yours. Take a snapshot of that, move it onto your screen, and then use iMessage. I'm just saying, or your Julie bot, either one, and you kind of just refresh their memory there. So you kind of always think about the activities that you can do that saves you a lot of time, you know. And so that's kind of one of those easy ones that you can do. And you can.
What is the market snapshot you're referring to?
Well, no, I'm just thinking about the snapshot of that ad that they clicked on.
Ah, got it.
Because you go back to the very first impression they had, which is in their newsfeed, to refresh their memory. Show them the ad they just clicked on, because that was them, and then create the conversation from there.
Are you saying send that through Facebook or send that through a text?
Through text, through Facebook too, and maybe potentially through an email if you only have their email.
So if you screenshot it, what happens is when you send it to them, they got a visual reference. If they have an iPhone, the cool part is you'll know if they have an iPhone, because when you send the message, it'll come back as blue versus being green. So when you sit here and you're trying to figure out the best way to reach out to somebody, it's nice knowing that if I'm sending you something, and I get a lot of overseas people with iPhones, so now I can iMessage and iChat through that to them, unlike where I can't send a normal text like I would to an Android that way. But once you sit there and look and identify your audience, now you get back into tagging as well. And this is where those tags help you because it gives you a quick reference. If you sat there and had the iMessage, sometimes I'll put iPhone. If I know they're overseas or whatever, identify what there is, build up what's in your tags. And then when you look at them and you're just doing a quick thing, might not have seen them in 2 or 3 months and they're re-engaging, those notes and tags help you a lot.
Well said. Yeah, I mean, we got all this amazing technology at our hand, right? And it's free. And I also think, you know, as great as these video automations are, just remember they get lost in folders. And over time, you know, you can go to your email records right now in your emails and see who's opening it and who's clicking on something, but it doesn't tell you much more than that. So that's where, if you have tracking mechanisms installed, especially from the personal side, some of those same emails that you're sending out personally, recreate them, save them, and then slightly change them to ask that particular person that you're emailing to if they got it, if they received it. Because what you're trying to create is this element of immediate feedback. So with those emails that you're sending out, you need to make sure they're being opened, they're being watched, the links that are being clicked on. Because if you make that first few touches that 100% open, kind of like Jennifer Salter's known for, now everything else is going to naturally work in your favor. So that's
on that same key. On that same type of discussion. Do you think that the bomb, you know, the bomb site that shows whether your video has been watched or not, do you think that's accurate? I mean, because I have done a lot of estimates and I've got like maybe a third that have been watched, and I am doing the follow-up just like you said. I'll send, what I do is I send the email with the you know, the little GIF and the link to my video, and then I immediately send them a quick follow-up saying, hey, do you you know, if you didn't get it, let me know. That way I can reply directly back to your, you know, your message to me with the video, you know, blah blah blah. It's a real short little email after I send the initial one. I mean, and I'm just, my videos are lacking in watch time.
How long are they?
You get that snippet though that Marcus showed last week is important.
I did that.
Yes, Jennifer reaches out again. So if you send out the initial bomb, go ahead and remember to send the snippet. And the way she spaces out over several days, once again, you come down to how many touches you do on them.
Yeah, let me show
I
you.
do.
Let me show
I do
you
that
really
snippet.
quickly. At least this is the way I use it, Eric. So when I send something to somebody, there's this tracking. I use Gmail, and I know you can use it in different ways. But I can see, like this morning, I sent something to Freddie, and so Freddie has both opened the email and clicked on the link that I wanted him to click on, because I can see that little blue button. So that's the tracking side of this. Is you can take that personal email, put it in there because if you're sending lots of emails, they're going to get lost. But if you have a certain person you're trying to make sure they got and received, just plug into that little tracker with their email and see where that's at in that communication send. Because it turns different colors depending on what they've done with that email.
Okay. Yeah, I've got that bomb extension. I can see that as well. Here's my next question. I've been doing nothing but this one, what's your home worth video, or not video, but the ad, and it's gotten me, you know, like 100 or like between 85 and 100 leads. And I'm curious as to which buyer funnel do you guys use, because I'm wondering if I've got, you know, that first push of seller leads. Now should I do a push of just buyer leads?
Absolutely. The third one in the funnel arrangement is, so if you look at your funnels as a live account, they're all ranked in order of the lowest cost per lead across, you know, the nation. And so what you'll find is that the first two are listing funnels, which means anytime you have a listing, you use those because you're going to get the most phone numbers with any listing that you're marketing. The third most or the lowest cost phone number would be the buyer lead ad. And the buyer lead ad, the best way you can look at it is create a list that's inclusive to every buyer out there. So where are you located, Eric?
I'm in Missouri.
Okay, but where's like, what's the hot area?
Springfield.
Springfield. So I would probably just do something simply as like single family homes in Springfield.
Okay. Do you guys do anything like special with like, do you put a new picture on there, or a different picture or whatever? I mean, I'm just curious as to if you guys, adjust it or edit it any.
There's a lot of people that do, but I think you can definitely start with stock photo and get great results. I've seen people use interior kitchens. If you use a photo, make sure architecturally it's a home that they would see in that Springfield area. But I would think keeping it pretty generic, single family homes has worked really, really good, because everybody, buyers who are investors, buyers who are first timers, mover uppers, downsizers, you want to get everybody clicking on that, and then naturally pre-qualify them on the other side. Does anybody have I know, Wendy, you've done the homes with pools in Vegas.
Yeah, the pool home one works good. The other one that's good that we did was homes under 500,000 or homes under 300,000. I don't know what your area is like, but our prices are going up. So a lot of people still want to, buy decent priced homes. So, but if you're in like a $10 million area, then you may want to say homes under $1 million. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, it all depends on what your people are looking for, but they like those lists. So, and then you just tie your list from your website. That's the link you're going to use, and it's going to send them right to there to start shopping. So
I like as many identifiers or triggers as humanly possible. You can do more or less, obviously, but if people are looking for a home under a particular price point, it's nice for that price point to exist on your ad. If people are looking for a home in a particular area, it's nice to have that on your ad. If people are looking for a particular amenity, it's nice to have that on your ad, because people are looking for one of these different things. So personally, I would do, homes in this area that have this amenity under this price, right? So you have a little bit of everything for everybody, but also, at this day and age, people who are actively looking to purchase a home most likely have already been burnt once or twice. They've gone off, they've made an offer, they weren't even a backup offer. So typically the people who are a little bit more expedited, a little bit more ready to get going, they're not just looking for a list of random homes. They're looking for something very specific, because they know they don't have time to waste going through lists and looking at this and looking at that. They want to find a property that they like and get moving on it right away. At least that's the kind of clients we want to deal with right now in this market. So personally, I would say, again, for here, Kelowna, where we are, pool homes under $1 million, right? Looking for a list of pool homes in Kelowna under $1 million, nailed it, right? So that's my suggestion is try it the other way too. Try less is more. Try one that with just single family homes in whatever neighborhood, and then also do, fully detached single family homes or family homes on land or something that's a little bit more. Test them against one another and see which one, bears fruit quickest.
Yeah, I was just going to say, make sure that you redirect URL you have in your, when you're building that ad, make sure it takes them to that list of homes, not just straight to your website, because you don't want them to have to search again. Just make sure it goes straight to that list of homes. If your offer is, a list of homes under $1 million, that's filtered already. And then you copy that URL right there. And then what you want to do is you go into edit your automations, and you just want to make sure you take that long string of numbers and change it to just be something that's like requested list of homes in Calgary or whatever it is. Otherwise, it's going to show up in your email with this massive string of numbers and digits, and yeah.
What did you say last time? Where in the campaign?
Wait. Oh, sorry, Missy's. I'm gonna just. Okay, Michael, you had a question, and then Troy was going to share his screen to show you a quick demo.
Yeah. Hey. I know I haven't been on in a while. I've been extremely busy with all the leads I've actually gotten. So. I haven't posted yet, but I got a listing and I put it under contract. I'm helping him find a house right now, and I've been working with like 3 other people, and I'm possibly doing like a renovation as well. I mean, I'm not new to real estate. I've been doing it since I was 18. I'm 30, just so you guys know. But I've been using like a lot of the letters, and I've probably sent out like a good 300 letters now. And out of those, I've had 3 people that are like pretty serious that I had to follow up with consistently. But I mean, my letters are really cute. Like, you guys know I've got Dosh Hound, so I put these little paper clips in my, like Marcus, I put these little paper clips in my envelopes. I even include a Starbucks gift card and like a whole value range and everything. And like it's very well put together. And so like I look at it like if I'm getting this piece of mail, like as far as like reciprocity, I'd be like, I'd at least respond to the guy. But most people are just like, it's like, why do you, for me, it's like, you know, I've been in sales my whole life. So it's like, how do you take this much effort to put in a request and then someone, you know, you give them the value for it. And a lot of them are just curious, but you would think at least something, you know, I know you have to hit them a couple times, but some of these people are just like, it's very interesting to see what kind of like human nature, what makes you want a value. Obviously you're looking to sell your home. So they're either going to use you or someone else. It just depends on the follow-up. Some people like snail mail. A lot of the ones I get like an actual email, I will do a BombBomb video followed by a cloud CMA and typically like a tax record report as well. And a lot of these people, what I'm noticing, you guys, is that some of these people have either are under contract on this freaking house and they don't even own the damn thing yet. And they want a second opinion because their agent obviously isn't doing a good job on comps or value or justifying the price. And then B, there's people that, you know, I don't even know, they obviously just don't own the house. I'm pulling up, you know, doing all my research before I even start even talking to this person or even giving them a call. But I always try to call and then leave a voicemail and then do a follow-up. And then let obviously Julie take care of some of the automations, but it's just me. So I have all this going on. Another thing that was fun is my Facebook got hacked. So I haven't been able to respond or anything. So I actually just sent you a request. I just did a new one. So now I have to go in there and redo that. And then other than that, I guess, what are you guys doing right now that I may not be doing to convert better on these address only leads? Are you complementing it with like another kind of mailing campaign, like with your title company, or like, you know, what are you doing to complement just that one initial letter? Do you send another follow-up letter? I've done that to a few with still no response. So it's just like, at what point do you stop sending them snail mail or try to get in contact with them if they don't provide you an email address or, you know, blah, blah, blah.
I've got one quick suggestion for you, and then Wendy, it looks like you unmuted yourself, so I'm sure you're the old pro at this one. I'll make sure that you get a chance to talk on that one, obviously. But my first suggestion is to make sure what your return call to action is, and make sure that the imposition is incredibly low. I find that what we used to recommend to people and still works, you know, QR codes and, you know, here's the link to get back and enter more of your information. But, you know, while that still works, it's more work for them. Like, come, you know, leave what you're doing, go to your computer, open it up, come to my site, enter the information. I prefer a really quick solution, which is just text me. Text me your email address and I'll give you something else of value. So again, value stack. So to say they're looking for a home valuation, what else might they want? I would suggest a local market report, right? So you could say something like less is more in your mailer, first and foremost.
Right.
Look, you know, 3-bed, 2-bath homes in your area. While I'm unable to provide you a, you know, my professional opinion of value until I've seen your home for myself, or at least we have a good conversation, what I can provide you with is an update as to activity in your area. Anytime a home like yours comes on the market or sells, you'll be the first to know, which no doubtably will affect your home's value. If you'd like this free service, simply text me your email and I'll set you up right away. The imposition level is so incredibly low. The value to them is in addition to what they already asked for. If they didn't give me their email or their phone number on that first offer, I think doubling down with that exact same offer, it's going to work some of the time, sure. But offering them something slightly different, slightly more valuable that's in line with their original offer. And again, all you have to do is text me your email and you're going to get set up on something else right away. I think that would be a way to kind of rejig your mailer a little bit and add that little blurb in there. I think that'll help.
And I agree. Like what I'm using right now is I mean, basically like I just printed this last night, but like basically here's the template and I normally like write this out. And because it's been taking so much time, obviously I have it printed and then I fill in the blanks and sign my signature and do all that, but I'm giving them a range. So basically it's like, they're either not liking the range I'm giving them, but a lot of these people are in equity, or B, they got the information. Now they can stop communicating. So I see that some people have done that whole Canva thing where it says, here's your address. And then, but you didn't give me your email address. But at the same time, it's like, I've been sending people their estimated range of value. So like, what would be
I think a huge thing for you, Michael, though, is to like step back a bit You started a street text at the end of August.
Yeah.
Like you've been in this for 2 months. That's amazing that you converted and done what you've done in the short period of time. So I think the timeline is just something you have to think about. And the fact that you're sending out such a kind of wow moment in that first mailer means that any of your follow-ups are going to be attended to. So you don't have to be fancy with the next ones. Like with your next mailers, that first one, you made an impression. Like I said, I'm up to like 40 something mailers in my mailbox from agents that are just blanketing neighborhoods.
Oh, shit.
And I don't really remember them. I just see some that like come more consistently. Those are the ones I'm like, oh, this person, this is the fourth one I've received from this person. But if your first one was personable because I clicked on an ad and has like a dash hound little pin in it, you've now made like a little mark in my brain. So your next like communications for address onlys, if you're sending them quarterly, just have to be little like reminders. They don't have to be like these big wows, because one, your time is your most valuable asset. And some people just clicked really because they wanted to know if they got had when they bought their house. They're like, I don't know, has the value gone up yet now? And they're not going to be selling. So you don't want to be using too many resources and time. Do that first powwow and then just touch on them. But I think you're doing a lot of the right things. So
yeah, no, I agree. I think that's very valid. Like here's, I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me see, but like, here's my example of my mailer. So I like put the little dash hound, I tape it down, very cute, handwritten. And like all my stamps are very personable. So it looks like it's actually coming from like someone that thoughtfully took out the time to like make this impression. So I know some people too aren't like ready to list right away, but at least they have, I bet you they kept my card and the Starbucks gift card and a little other stuff in there. Cause like the one lead I got from StreetText, like he still kept my letter as far as like my value and just like showed it to me the other day. Yeah, it's going good. So I guess to follow it up, like maybe even like export this list to, like, I have a great title company I work with, and I'm thinking of also sending like seasonality as far as like a list of like pumpkin patches or like places to get Christmas trees or like top hikes to do in Denver, or, you know, things like that to kind of like keep them. So it's not so salesy as well. It's just like an added value add, but it just has my branding on it. So just to compliment on another campaign to also drip on those people. So it does get kind of overwhelming, just me following up now that I have like a big list of leads. But obviously I can see with BombBomb, like how many times they've opened something, and a lot of people have played my video or watched it, and I'll follow up and then it's like crickets, but I know that at least I made that impression. So hopefully they're going to think of me when it does come time to list, just keep following up as well. So.
And you're doing everything perfectly, Michael. I think you're doing above and beyond what most would do. And I expect to see massive fruit come out of this for you in the future. Massive fruit. I think you're just laying the ground right now. You're laying the foundation. You're planting the seeds. And those seeds are going to come to harvest. So like keep on doing what you're doing. I promise you look back 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, and everybody's going to be like, oh my gosh, look at what Michael's done.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm definitely putting in a lot of work. So.
And I agree with Marcus. I mean, it definitely, everything sounds like you're going so above and beyond, which is awesome. But Marcus, I'm kind of, Michael, I'm chiming in here a little bit because we're in a very similar boat. Our real estate's just my husband and myself, and I do all of the marketing for everything. And I just a reminder too, to when you're feeling like you're getting spread thin, make sure you're putting your energies into those activities that feel like they're going to generate the best results for you. So I think about when somebody clicks on the ad on Facebook and they enter the address, and then we don't see anything else other than the address, probably because they clicked on it, entered the address and went, oh crap, I got to enter more information. I don't want to do this. And they just back out of it. So they're not serious at this point. So what I've found is that we do a address only letter. It's a very simple, we have a either a picture of their home, if there's like a street view that I can capture and put on there, or we'll do like a map to like pinpoint where their home is, something to indicate like, here's the property that we're talking about. And then we do like, hey, we're following up with you. Without seeing your home, we can't really give you any value. However, we want to just kind of show you, here's what the internet thinks your home is worth. And then we'll give them a rundown. Here's what Zillow thinks, Realtor thinks, Redfin thinks, all of that. And then 9 times out of 10, if you get all of those values together, it paints a very clear picture that those internet algorithms are not necessarily accurate. Right. So then we follow up and say, as you can see, the internet has no idea what your home is worth. And then we go into why it's so important to talk to somebody who's local, why we're experts in the field, a little bit about us being family owned and local small business. And I stick a business card in there and I leave it at that. And honestly, it's the only thing I do for those address onlys, because if they're truly like, maybe one day I'll think, they'll probably keep the card, stick it on their fridge or whatever. And that's great. But it's just me handling all of this marketing and all of the admin and the paperwork and everything for our currently active deals. So I focus my energies on those people that I at least have an email address for, because then they can get the BombBomb. I can get them set up with HomeBot. My goal is always to be top of mind, because 99% of the people that come through this pipeline, they're not interested right now. They're maybe one day they will sell. And my goal is to, when they hit that point of, hey, you know what? Now I want to sell. I get these emails from this lady and she sends me these videos. Like, maybe I'll reach out to her because she seems like she knows what she's doing. And that has been what's worked in the long run. So just, in terms of where you're spending your marketing dollars and where you're spending your time and your energy, I would say, keep that in mind to, as a single person, make sure you're putting your efforts where you think you're going to get the most results.
Right.
That's well said, Gene. Here's a thought too, complementing what Wendy did with the Las Vegas Raiders ad, is you could use that as a mailer too, especially, right? You throw that in, you want something to be on their fridge that they see every single day. That fact that mind share now is on a lot of people's fridges that Wendy has sent that to. Hey, I'm about it right now because I need to know what the next Raider game schedule is, or the Knights, or whatever that is. But every time I do that, subconsciously, I'm looking over and I'm seeing Wendy. You know what I mean? And I'm not necessarily, like, at some point, it just becomes ingrained in my mind that Wendy is the local realtor there, even though I'm more into figuring out the next game. So,
go Raiders.
Go Raiders. We overcome adversity. But with that being said, if you're going to throw something in the mail, now that magnet stays on their fridge. No one's going to give away a magnet. Everybody has a fridge. Right. And especially if you have something of value in there. So that's just a thought process on that little mailer.
One of the things that we do is I actually partner. I'm really all about supporting small business, and so I work to go, get with my local community. I actually have, for the address onlys right now, we send them obviously a personal note that says, you requested your home value, whatever. But inside that personal note, I'm actually giving them an invite to a VIP event that I'm hosting with one of my small businesses. So it's like promoting my local communities. Now, I don't know if they're going to show up, but in order for them to redeem their ticket, I need to get their phone number and email, or their phone number and name. So that's one thing. And the other thing that you want to remember is if you have your pixel installed on your StreetText, you should be able to retarget those people on StreetText and let that retargeting do your follow-up for you. So it's more automated follow-up and you're not having to do so much manual work behind it.
Okay.
Good, great suggestions.
Yo, can I chime in, man? And can I ask a couple of questions?
Absolutely, Manny. And I can't see you, but 100%.
Okay, can you see me now?
I think it's just because I need to. Yeah, there you are on the second screen over. Perfect.
I'm just playing with you, man. Okay, so a couple of things. My name's Manny. I want to introduce myself. I'm new to StreetText. I'm excited about this. A couple questions to the group. One, like, what I'm trying to accomplish is pay-per-clicks, right? So, like, have any of you guys figured out like a good formula for the 12 steps and for the CMA advertisement where it's not charging you $15 per lead? So like my 12 steps is costing me $1, and then my CMAs are costing me $15 a lead. Now, that's one question. And then the second is, say they don't receive the email address. What I'm thinking of doing is actually just dropping by, knocking on their door. If they're not there, just dropping off the CMA, leave my card there. Has any of you guys have done that, and any successes around stuff like that?
I think it depends where you're located. In my area, I'm in rural Wisconsin. If we showed up at somebody's door, we're likely to be met with hostility. So we would not be showing up. But I think in larger cities and more urban communities, I have heard where that works well, and people have good conversations from that.
Anybody on the, so and Jeff just said he'd kill for $15 leads. It's reflective of the market, Manny, and I think with the more you're going to find with, especially that what's your home really worth ad, you need to test it a little bit more, not necessarily rely on the map image or satellite image or whatever image you throw in there. I think the idea is a little bit more split testing and A/B testing could drop that way down, but in general, it just may be a reflection of the market you're in. Just like with Jeff, he can do everything and anything. Even have the Welcome to Orange County ad, and it goes down for a while, but you're kind of recognizing that you're marketing to not just real estate agents and brokers, you're auctioning that out against every advertiser on Facebook. So that's the key, is usually Facebook's making that determination within the first 500 people reach, which is why we're such a big advocate of split testing the audiences. And so give it a couple more runs at the split test and maybe try out some different images.
I got a text saying I have an abuse complaint received against my Facebook page. Is that a scam?
Wow, yeah, probably. There's a lot of that going on right now.
I remember hearing something about that a couple weeks ago.
It is a scam. Ignore it.
It's almost for sure. And the way that I'm telling people as much as I can right now is treat it like your bank. If your bank was to send you something like, hey, we need you to quickly log in and check on this charge or something like that in a text, you're never going to do it. You're going to call your bank. You're going to message your bank. You're going to say, hey, did you need me for something? Treat this the same way. If you do think you've maybe done something that goes against the policies, or you might be, or you're unsure, don't click on anything. Don't do anything there. Just go to Facebook support. Look through your account. If there's an issue, you'll have notification there somewhere. And if not, talk to their support team and say, hey, I got this message, what's going on? And they'll tell you for sure. But I'd say 99% of all the ones that we've been seeing are, some of them are actually really good, but some of them are horrible and riddled with grammatical and spelling errors out the wazoo. But yeah, just if you're at all concerned, whatever, err on the side of caution and go to Facebook directly. Don't click on any of those links.
Thank you.
Let's remember, I don't know if any of you were at the LCA event yesterday with Ira and Josh and Janky. Ira, if you want to unmute yourself there, I'm just going to put you on the spot. What was it that Josh said that stood out for you? There was one thing that we recognize at the end of the day, it's all about relationships. Why don't we really leave it on that so we can really focus on, as these leads come in, what we're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, I think I highly recommend going back. We'll post the recording to the insider group once it gets loaded up to lab coat agents. But it actually came up to me earlier, and we all get really busy. We never have a chance to we all have lots of comments, right? We don't always get a chance to jump in. But what came up to me earlier is Josh had said that a lesson he learned was that he had run some Facebook ads that he ran for a very short time, for about a month. And when he ran those Facebook ads for a month, he wasn't really paying much attention to what he was doing. He put people on follow-up. He had turned those ads off. And a year later, when he was reviewing his past year and he was looking to see his return on investment, where he had put his money, what he was doing, he had recognized a significant amount of return on investment came from those Facebook ads, but it took them a long time to populate. And when he looked back and he said, I stopped them though, I stopped running them after about a month. And he goes, it was a big lesson for me that, I put the brakes on something before I allowed that time span to see that they actually were going to convert, that there was going to be a big return at the end of the year. So, I would go back and listen to all of that, because it's just really understanding the thing that I've been on a couple other calls with Josh and people that are converting with them and they really talk about ROI, it's really understanding the concept of like, you're not going to see it right away. There's going to be a delay between things. So it's having this, like, right now we're heading into Christmas, you know, there's going to be the people that are going to want to sell now, but you're building your business for next year right now. Like what you're doing right now is going to be most important, and people are going to put the brakes on. We're going into holidays. They're like, I want to buy a puppy. I want to buy this. I want to buy that. All the agents are like, I'm going to save my dollars. I'm going to lay low for a bit, batten down the hatches. But people like Janky and Josh are on that, are pushing the gas down. They're like, I'm going to go harder. I'm going to run my ads longer. I'm going to do more follow-up now because this is what my 2022 is going to look like. So it's really like, and think about it. If some people are taking their foot off of the gas, what does that mean for opportunity for you who's willing to put your foot on the gas and put a little bit more effort in now with delayed gratification coming in the new year? So it's really understanding that ROI, like calculate all your numbers. And if you've had this many listings, for every dollar you put in, what is it turning into over time? And it's easy when you have long lulls, it happens between your listings. It's easy to rethink what you're doing so many times that you just keep stopping and starting it. The key is stop rethinking it, keep the foot on the gas, and keep going, knowing your ROI is going to pay off, like knowing that. And the other thing that hit me too was you said, stop calling them leads. They're not leads.
Yeah.
They're humans.
They're people.
Like, you forget they're humans. Like, make sure that you like realize that. Like, and I know as a human in this time in our world right now, things are a little crazy. Things are a little stressful. We're making a lot of decisions. We're carrying a lot of our burdens. They're not responding to you because they didn't need something. Life was just busy. They just got caught up on things. Like, show up in a way in their life that you're going to be memorable, that they're going to say, I'm glad I met this person right now, right here, because I'm so anxious about where I'm heading, and this person's helped ground me and get my head back in the game and help me with one of the largest transactions in your life. If you do that for somebody, you have referrals for years to come. So it's really about humanizing this. How human can you make it? So those were some of my takeaways. Brandon was on there too.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I think it's just, putting yourself into their shoes, and just coming from their mindset a bit, like there's we're reading this book about this assess phase. And like, if you're going to, like, say the grocery store and you're looking to buy, let's just say almond milk, you're looking at the calories on one, the other, which one you're going to buy. That assess phase is short. It's not very long. You might make a decision in minutes. Whereas someone's buying a house, that's a big decision. That assess phase is not minutes, days. It could be months. It could be years. So you got to think about that as they're taking their time. But as you provide value, that time will show and that flower will flourish into something else. So it's just about putting your head into their mindset, understanding where they're coming from. They clicked on an ad, and especially if they receive an email and it's your face behind that, they're not expecting that. They probably expected some generic automated value. So you got to put yourself into their mindset. I think that's really huge.
Well said it, Brandon. That's why even with the video, if you look into the bomb training, they always talk about start with empathy, lead with empathy, right? And a lot of people don't do that. They're like, hey, thank you so much for clicking on my Facebook ad, and this is what I'm gonna do for you. The empathy component is missing. The empathy component is, I can only imagine that you clicked on this ad thinking it was an instant market value, and here I am, right? So that's the idea of empathy. And then you then you give the value, and then your questions that you proceed after the value is questions that are going to give even more value on top of that.
One of my all-time personal favorite stories in real estate was this was before social media and everything. So I was out door knocking, I was hitting doors and doing all sorts of legwork. I came across a tenanted unit, and the individuals were pretending at first like they owned the property because they wanted some information. Obviously, some quick research, I figured out that they weren't. But long story short, they did tell me that they were looking at purchasing a property, and they didn't have good credit. So it was really easy for me to at first say, okay, well, see you later. Not really interested. Just so happens I knew a credit repair specialist who also happened to be my lender, which was fantastic. I decided to put them in touch with one another. I did end up getting a few referrals, but then basically let's say the lead went cold, so to speak. I didn't hear from them for quite some time. it was almost 3 years to the day, if I'm not mistaken. And I get a phone call, a very random phone call, didn't recognize the number. And hey, this is John. Do you remember me? Yada, yada, yada. Turns out that it took quite a while for them to get their, credit repaired. But at the same time, unfortunately, they had a death in the family. He got his inheritance at the same time as his credit was getting better. And he has since become one of the bigger investors around where we are. So it's just really interesting at the point in where they were in their life when they needed the most help. Well, I was able to just give them a little bit of additional help, put them in touch with somebody I thought could help them. I got a couple referrals from it, but then in the end, I became their primary realtor for until I got out of the industry myself. And it just became something that all it took was going. You don't even have to go above and beyond necessarily. Just treat them as humans. Treat them as the people that they are, and help them whenever you can. And good things do come from that. If nothing good comes from it, who cares? You helped somebody, right? And I think that's the kind of the motto of the story here is just, be helpful, do what you can to help these individuals, and good things often do come from it. And Danielle, looks like you had your hand up. If you want to go ahead and chime in there, it'd be wonderful.
Hello guys, good morning. I am newer to StreetText as well. I had a couple of questions. First, kind of random, Janky and Jennifer's Academy courses. Do you know if when you purchase them, if there's an expiration, or can I kind of jump in? You can start whenever?
Anytime.
Awesome. Okay. And then my second question was back on to Michael's little bit of frustration. So Marcus and I talked the other day, and we ended up pausing my ad because I was getting a ton of them. But for leads who clearly don't own the home, like you pull up the records and it's owned by Invitation Homes, but Tim G at msn.com is asking for the CMA. So I don't want to ignore all of those. Number one, I know that that's not going to be, I'm busy, to be frank. I don't have time to do CMAs for all these people who clearly don't own the homes. However, I'm nervous about bypassing all of them, because what if it's a renter in the home and they want to buy a house in the neighborhood, but all that I have is the address and an email? Do you guys have experienced that? Do you have any ideas? You're up.
I send to all and I hired my friend.
You send to all and hire your friend, so you're not dropping them off.
Yeah, so you say you're really busy. We're all really busy, and it is hard to get to every single one, but you have to get to every single one. And even if they're not the owner, they're asking for a reason. So I always send it to them anyway, but I did hire a friend that works really cheap to do my CMAs, and then I do the rest, because that part takes time and she loves doing it. So
yeah, I mean, what if Tim
you have like a realtor friend that's not very busy, that needs some extra cash every week, just do like a flat fee, run all my CMAs, and she sends them to you. And then you can either compile a personal video, or you can just, put the numbers in there with the Zillow realtor, show them what the online value is and then what you're coming up with. And, so, I mean, there is a way around it.
The friend does the CMA as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so she sends me the CMA and all the numbers for Zillow, Trulia, or Zillow, Redfin, and Realtor. So I have everything in one email, and then I just work it. You know what I mean? And it goes a lot faster. I used to do it all on my own, and I know a lot of people, can, but it's hard when you're really busy.
So you're not actually going into your MLS and making like a pretty specific CMA with a big range. You're just giving them
just a one sheet CMA. This is what, they're coming in at, but obviously, and then on the video, in order to find, give you a true value of your home, I'd need to see your home. So, and then I put my calendar link in below, pick the best day and time for me to come by, check out your place, and answer any questions you have.
Wendy, and with that, I think moving in this very new world that we're in, you offer them the opportunity to also say, we can do this virtually to begin. If you'd like to meet with me on Zoom or FaceTime and show me around, that's another option until, we get more comfortable.
Yeah, I tried that. I didn't get a whole lot of responses. So.
Well, and it's just an offering. It doesn't mean they have to take it. It's just
right on my
calendar.
On my calendar that I set up, the link. Basically, I ask them a couple questions, and then I have a spot where in person or virtually, and so they have the right to click that, when they're setting an appointment. So yeah, I do still have that in there, but it's not in the video. So
these are good.
Hey, one thing I would throw on that, the bomb video. I have a lot of people that they're not untitled. I send something out and say, hey, I know you're not untitled. May I ask what it is specifically I can do for you? I'm not throwing them away. I'm still addressing what it is I can do, because I get a lot of here when I look them up and I'm looking up on anything.com and all that. They're 78, 80 years old. They're not online. They got that great need somebody that's doing that for them. So I don't want to shut a door. And if you have that canned bomb, it's a 2-second send. Boom. Just put their name in there.
Leon, you froze.
If they're serious about what they're doing, but it helps you.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to always remember too that they could be in a cookie cutter neighborhood, and maybe they don't want to give me their info, but they're using, the neighbor that has the exact same floor plan. So I know I need to get it done. 2 quick questions. Wendy, absolutely no disrespect. I'm just curious, why are you doing that one page with the different values when they could just do that themselves? Like what do you feel like is bringing them more value than them just Googling their address that way?
So I'm not just giving them the one sheet.
Oh, so okay. Okay. I was like, wait.
So basically it's an email and it has the online values, all the different online values, and then our range, which, is attached to the email, but there's a video in the middle of it with me talking about,
Got it.
So yeah, no, but it takes a lot less time if she's running all the numbers and giving me all the values. That way I can just whip through it and get through, 10, 20 at a time instead of, me taking 20 minutes to do each one. So like we have a really good system, and then I just get up in the morning and they're all right there. I do it, make sure that I get them done every morning, and make sure everybody gets what they need.
Okay. That makes sense. I was not following that. And then my very last question. So Leon, I love that idea. So when you have that experience, are you just going in and turning off that section in the funnel where they're expecting the CMA? Are you turning off that section in the funnel and then sending them a different email, or sending it from your personal email?
I respond personally because I want it to come to me. So for a lot of people, like I said, I do roll as a single agent setup, even though I have an assistant, whatever. But, and Marcus showed this snippets and all in there. In BombBomb and all these other ones, you can make a canned response. So it doesn't take but a minute. And when we say speed to lead, speed to relationship, when they come back, they want it now. So if I see an email come across or a text come across and they're asking, I've got that available for a quick response. And because engagement is what you're after, and that's what you're going to get. Because like I said, I've seen a lot of these guys in their 70s and 80s. If they got an email, it's because they had an Android phone and had to have one. So they got their nephews, their nieces, their daughters, or somebody doing all this for them. And I always say curious for a reason. So if I shoot that back, I get a lot of engagement from that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys so much. That was super helpful.
Yeah, I got a kryptonite one for other realtors, y'all. I want to know if you're doing this. I started this last week and my engagement has been going crazy. And just by the way, I got a win today, Marcus. When I masked up back there, some guy just gave me 4 listings. One will go active next Thursday. And I got the other ones to pick up. He's sending me the address. So when they say people that send you random stuff, my reply to the guy, I told him I was really busy. I could not go see the house today. He said, if you meet me at the D-floor place I'm going to, he said, I'll give you my business. I walked in there with that mask, met him. I'd already sent him some stuff, gave him a card, shook his hand. He gave me 4 listings. I'm like stoked. Wendy, I'm coming to Vegas tomorrow. I'm serious. But here's something for you guys on something sending out. It's real simple. When we're trying to get engagement, one of the things that's really working for me right now, we're already in MLS. So I'm snapshotting a picture of the home if they're in the MLS. And when I'm sitting back to them asking if there's been any improvement, I'm including the picture because I'm telling them that this is what everybody's seeing online to work with. Is there any improvement? They've seen the picture, like, whoa. And like if I look on looking on Zillow and all them, and I'll see the houses different colors. I'm finding something different. They're so quick to correct you because it's wrong that I'm getting the engagement and I'm getting the opens, and these guys are like really responding. So when you get their next thing you send out asking about their home value, even just curious, send back, hey, Marge, it's, Wendy from, Vegas. I'm sitting here trying to put this together. Just curious if you have any improvements to your home, because this is what online thinks your home looks like. These folks send you like everything down to their grandchildren's birthday on this stuff. I've been getting like my engagements have doubled at least. I kid you not.
Genius. No, I was going to say, Leon, genius, because with screen recording with BombBomb, you can start with the image you want them to see. So why not on the follow-up with your screen recording, make sure the first thing they see is a picture of their own home, not you.
Yes, because they recognize
it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about them. It's about them. It's about their
and
home.
even if your price is wrong, doesn't matter. You're showing them why. This is what the internet's best guess. And Marcus says it's funny. It comes back to the very thing you've always done since I came back to StreetText. This is internet's best guess your home. So if this is what I have to work with for the price, obviously that's why my value's wrong if I'm not your ballpark. And now you're already padding your reason, but the engagement for my stuff is probably doubled.
That's genius. And there's a lot of people that miss that were in here that, are not still here in the mastermind. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up. But if anyone has examples of your screen recording home valuations, I would start working on throwing their home there as the first image they see, especially on the personal follow-up. Not obviously you can't do that with the automations. The automations are about you and what makes you unique and different, but your personal follow-up and that home value you're giving, absolutely start testing that with an image of the home.
So what's funny is starting out like that. I did one another day with the Google Earth. Started with a landmark, came into their house where it's at now, gave them kind of just a real light spiel for what it was, and then I compared it to one I done where this. So when I screenshot it out of the off your computer from Zillow, Bing, wherever, do that. And like I said, I've got my engagements have like doubled for them guys getting back. I'm getting the information. I'm getting the conversation. So try.
I love it. And if you have their phone number, because some of these leads, you only have their email. If you have their phone number, try it via text too, because you can do a quick snapshot of their home. And, just like you're saying, is this Jeff? Is this Leon? Hey, is this your home, 133 Glenridge? Just a thought. Yeah, that's my home. Okay, now what? Carry the conversation on. Hey, just working on your home value.
It doesn't look like
that. You've had an addition? New gym? New dojo? Yeah, cool. All right. I'm going to tell you all about it, especially me. Think about it. That person who has done those improvements and added buildings and so forth, just like we've added a couple buildings to our property in the last year. If you did the appraisal a year ago and then do the appraisal today, geez, we need that factored in, right? We had to go through the city, permits, I had to take out a home equity loan. So listen, that's a big deal when someone's trying to discover the new home value. And there's a lot of those people.
So I have a win real quick. I sent out 500 text messages to all of my Raider people to make sure they got their calendar on a Monday. And it was insane. I'd say probably 450 responded.
Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing when you actually send something that people want as opposed to, sending them, just a bunch of stuff about homes. So
Wendy, what kind of app did you use to send out the bulk text?
That was absolutely 100% single.
Serious?
I know. I singled. I had it in my follow-up boss. I can text through follow-up boss, but I can't group text through follow-up boss. And if I can, I have no idea how. So I just copied and pasted. I had a template or a text template. And I just kept going through all of them. And I did them all like in one morning. And then I thought, I was gonna have a great day. I had a very great day. It was so busy. But everybody was just like, oh my God, yeah, I love it. Or they're like, no, I haven't got it yet. So then I'm putting more in the mail. One of them said my husband stole it and took it to work. So I sent another one to her, you know, I mean, and just like having great conversations all day long with these people. It was fun. But yeah.
Hey, just for future reference, there is an app called Reach that we use for bulk texting. So next time around, maybe a little easier than
I try to do everything through Follow Up Boss. So I know exactly what I did to every single client. You know what I mean? I do use the funnel for StreetText because I love that, but everything else is in there. So like all of my video emails that I send out, and the video email, I sent everybody because I could do the group email, you know, so I sent out the group email with my video in my Raider jersey, you know, and talking about, you know, if they got their calendar okay and stuff. So that went out in an email, and then I personally texted through the system because then it's all in there. And then, you know, it makes it really easy to see what I did with each person. So that's why I didn't outsource.
Hey, Wendy, where do you get your calendars created, or how did you like customize it?
Yeah, so those are Magnet USA.
Okay.
Magnet USA, and yeah, obviously the more you buy, the cheaper they are. And then, but yeah, it's great. And I have the two teams. So I did Raiders and Vegas Knights because we have a hockey team and a football team now. So yeah, people love them. Oh, I love that football. Oh, that looks great. Is that a magnet?
Oh, that's killer.
Oh my God, I love it.
Wait, you got to tell us how you did that.
Yeah, this is Magnets USA also.
Oh, that is
Cool.
amazing. Okay, that's your updated calendar there, Wendy.
Right? I know.
Yeah,
I need
people really love it. Same
Oh
deal
my
that
gosh.
you're talking about. I did
like
a lot
that.
of.
Throw that.
Did you do an ad?
Oh yeah, I did. Well, I didn't run a Facebook ad. I did an Instagram live video, and then I have season tickets, so I ordered 500 and went out and met people and handed them out personally. They ate it up. It was wonderful.
How much does that cost per calendar or per magnet?
I think about 60 cents. Maybe,
that's worth it.
Maybe less. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I've been doing this every year since the Rams came back to LA.
The good thing about the ad is because I used to do the same thing. I just hand them out, go to Jeep events, throw them out, you know, but you don't have their name, phone number, and email, you know, so doing the ad gets you their contact and gets you in front of them and gets them in your system. So
I'll definitely do that next year. I did an Instagram, I did a lot of Instagram stories, so they would DM me and I would get their address mailed to them. Then I'd look up their property and send them, you know, sign them up to HomeBot.
So they would DM you their email?
Yeah,
and
no,
their
their physical address, their home address.
Right, but how do you add them to HomeBot if you don't have their email? So you have to ask them for their email too?
Yeah. I would go and been verified and pull up their email, pull up whatever. If they're the homeowner, you know, sometimes they're renting, stuff like that.
Right.
But I like your idea better, and I'll do that next year. Just this year.
Yeah, that was a game changer this year. Like
that's genius. And I mean, essentially, that could be an addition, an added value that you throw into the mailer for those leads. Like, and they don't see it coming. You just be like, hey, by the way, I'm a huge sports fan. I just wanted to give you this as an added gift.
Oh yeah, no, I send it all to my farm every year, and then my StreetText leads that are not leads, people, the StreetText human.
That's good. Change it.
But yeah, I have, you know, and I just order more and more every year because there's just so many people that want them now. So, because we went from Vegas Knights to now the Raiders, and then I think we get a baseball team soon, maybe.
Take the Angels, please.
What?
Take the Angels.
I'm calling it right now. Raiders Super Bowl.
Oh my God! Right?
Yeah, I like that.
Come here for that.
I like that laugh. I love it because you know what? No one's expecting it, and when we all see each other at the Super Bowl, you'll see it's because of Derek Carr and the players. Okay. Anyways, we're gonna end it that way, guys. Raiders on top. Raiders on top. Go Raiders. Have a great have a great rest of the day. Thanks for coming to the Mastermind. Remember, choose one thing you learned today. One thing, just one.
Dash space Wendy.
Yeah, dash space Wendy. Follow up. Love it. That was a good one. Thanks again, guys. Talk to you soon.
Yeah.